All right, welcome to this edition of the Hoel Roofing and Remodeling Podcast. Today is our final episode for 2023, so thank you to Adam behind the scenes here. As I told him at the beginning of the year, we were going to knock out 26, and that is what we've done. And I've got my lovely bride here, and we're just going to do a wrap of the 2023 season for us and talk about what 2024 is going to look like and that kind of stuff. So, babe, I'm just going to let you go ahead and take off with that.
So 2023 was a big growing year for us. We held on with some of our primary team members that we had, grew with them. Exciting things happened in their lives, and added some new team members as well. And so we're just looking forward to 2024, see where that goes, and excited for next chapter in the guys' lives. Nick is getting married. Ellie's getting married next year, so we have that to look forward to. A couple of other things to look forward to in 2024. So we're just excited to watch them grow and help them lead and oversee them in their kind of future endeavors. So
what was the biggest growing challenge you think we had this year?
Biggest growing challenge, I would say, for me, just trying to hone in and get more stuff in place so that it wasn't as scattered, helping the guys, hey guys, slow down, take your time, look at things, oversee them, and making sure that they understand, kind of the install side of things, because they can sell, but sometimes it's hard to understand all the coordinations of it when you're not putting it together. You're not on the roof day to day. So that, and just helping educate them so they understand more.
So there are a few announcements that we can't really talk about because we don't want to ruin it for anybody. But yeah, I mean, like you said, like we're in that transition period, and we've got a lot of exciting things coming, and that's what's fun for me, running this business, with you every day. But let's kind of talk about, like, what does 2024 look like for you? Most people know that your primary job in 2023 was scheduling, running the production side of everything, and we've since hired Jonathan to come in and handle that for you. So kind of talk about, let our audience know, like, where and what you'll be doing in 2024.
My goal for 2024 is help Jonathan learn more of what I'm doing. I'm trying to show him, try not to overwhelm him right now, but slowly add more and more in so that he can take on that full responsibility of that role, so I can step back and oversee things more and have more time to focus on setting up more processes that I know that we need. Also being able to be more flexible. The kids are in school, but if they're sick, if I need to go on a field trip, I want to be able to be more flexible and not be needed as much in the business day to day. So that is what I'm shooting for in 2024, and that's what I'm hoping it be executed. So,
well, I want to thank you for what you've done, because only people that's ever ran production know as much as you've juggled, and Jonathan is starting to learn a snippet of it. But calling customers, rescheduling stuff when weather happens or crews, and getting this material dropped, and then getting this material picked up. And so I know I'm hard. I push everybody, and I'm probably the hardest on you. But seriously, thank you for what you've done there, because it proves we've pretty much hired two people to do what you were doing yourself. So thank you for that.
Well, it's definitely, I kind of thrive under the pressure and everything that goes on, but a person can only take so much before they have their breaking point. So, yeah, so I appreciate that.
So like she said, and another thing that she's going to get more involved with, which she's really excited about, is getting behind this mic. So kind of for 2024, what I would like to see is we're going to go ahead and bump that up. We're going to shoot for 36-ish podcast. And a third of them will be led by my lovely bride, and I won't even be behind the mic. So one thing that I want to focus on for next year is get more small business owners in. And I've got some ideas, of companies that we do business with. And some of them are either women ran or women are higher in the leadership. So I think it'll be easier for you to have them kind of conversations and podcasts. And then also what I want to do is continue to bring on team members. I think you and Jonathan can do a good one of once that transition gets a little further along. And so I mean my main goal is this to bring value to our audience and just connect with Central and East Central Indiana. Like that's our bread and butter. That's where we raise our family at. That's where our team raises their family at, and we just want to continue to grow our brand in this area. So I'm excited for that. Just to get you behind the mic, that gets you out of your comfort zone. But let's be honest, 13 years ago when we started dating, you would have never dreamed that you would be behind the microphone right now. So it's good for you.
Yeah, if you say so. Also, 2024, looking forward to stepping in a role of being more of a, not a party planner, but team activities. Last year, we kind of struggled. Everybody was so busy of getting everybody together to do like a quarterly gathering. So we're already planning our first quarter event. We're going to go snow tubing, so that should be fun. Hopefully nobody breaks any bones or anything. And summertime, we usually have a cookout, and I think we're going to do the canoeing trip again because everybody really enjoyed that last time. So looking forward to doing more stuff like that because we all really like hanging out with each other and being around each other, which is good for us just because it makes it nice when everybody gets along and enjoys spending time with each other. And it's nice to step away from the office and actually like just hang out and have the fun environment, not talk shop talk or work all day. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, and you're right, our team, it's like a family, and we genuinely like getting together. I'm excited for the Perfect North Slope trip. That's always fun, and I'm excited to be able to take some kids, So we have a blessing. I guess it's a blessing and a curse. I seem like a lot of our kids' team. I mean, we either have Mark's kids that are in their 20s, or a lot of our kids are toddlers, or we're clear down to Kylo and Blakely and Leah. Is that right? Jonathan and Crystal's.
Lena,
I'm sorry. There's too many L's. So we got Lena, Levi, Liam, Layla, and Lydia. Talk about a freaking tongue twister. I can't get Rhett, Reagan, and Riley right, and they're mine. So, yeah. But, so no, and that's, that's exciting. That's exciting for me. So, what else, in the business, what has probably been the brightest part of this year?
I can't even remember yesterday.
I mean, it's crazy to think that, what is this, December 19th? That we're shooting this podcast, and it literally feels like we just jumped back behind there a couple weeks ago to do the very first one. And, let's talk, and I'm not a big numbers guy, but we're going to end up about 30% more in revenue this year than last year, and that just comes with its own unique sets of challenges. Ellie decided to have a baby on us and took 3 weeks off, or 3 weeks off, 3 months off, which is great. I mean, she wanted to be at home and be a mom. That's awesome. But
that was one of my bright parts. Ellie came back.
Yeah, I mean, it was just towards the end of the summer, and that's when it may be our busiest time. Just people decide, oh crap, I got to get projects done before winter gets here, and so we push through that. So yeah, it's just it's just part of it.
Yeah, we had a push there, August through pretty much November, just trying to juggle it all and not.
And the guys are out selling yesterday, and I think one tomorrow. So I mean, they're pushing forward. But I mean, let's talk about moving forward. We're going to continue to kind of hit on the same things: roofing, siding, gutters, exterior windows, fascia, soffit, that kind of stuff. Doing a little bit more. We don't really advertise a whole lot of remodels, but we actually end up accomplishing a couple pretty good size interior remodels this year. Job well done, because you were orchestrating that. Jerry behind the scenes there. So that is something, and looks like we may have a couple more on the books for next year. So that's a service that we don't really talk a whole lot about, but that is something that we can help people out with. So
I just thought of something a few weeks ago. Kind of ties into what we talk about all the time, the Dave Ramsey stuff. Nick told us that he only owed $40,000 on his house, and he said he had enough to pay it off, and we encouraged him to pay it off. I will kick his ass though, because he still hasn't done that, but he has the opportunity to do so. So I'm still pushing him to do that. So it was just really exciting, because a few years ago, we know that he didn't he didn't have that much money in the bank, and he didn't have that possibility to pay off his house. Now he has that option. And now it's just him getting over that mindset of, oh, that's a lot of money to pay off my house. I'm like, Nick, but you have the money to pay it off. Just do it. So that was really exciting when he told us that. Yeah.
Well, the funny part was he's like, yeah, I asked my mom, and she told me I should pay it off. And I'm like, oh, really, Nick? Huh? Who else would say that? And he's like, well, I knew what your answer was going to be. So, I mean, and that's why we do what we do. That's why, I mean, the Dave Ramsey principles have changed our lives. There's nobody that can look at our young 13 years of relationship, pretty much 13 years of marriage now, and that's a big part of the success. Being married's hard. Anybody that's married understands that. Running a business with your spouse adds a whole nother level. But I try to choose to look at that as a bright point, that I get to spend more time with my wife, more time with my family, but to start having this team buy into that concept, and because I told him, I was like, the freedom of not having a mortgage payment. And I understand there's not a lot of people listening to this that's going to have that freedom, but the few that do, they get it. They understand that. And it is nice, because, Nick was living paycheck to paycheck 3 years ago. Then I set him down and encouraged him to get into sales, and he's absolutely freaking crushed it, and brought on a couple buddies that have been rock stars too. So that's, that's exciting. And, for us, for me, another exciting part is like you said, Ellie's getting married, Nick's getting married. There's little kids around. And just to watch them kids grow up, and just for Cody to be able to bring in little Joey and run through the office, and, we got a professional business here, but it's fun when the kids can come in here and run around. And I don't want a corporate feeling. I want a professional feeling, but I don't want a corporate feeling. And just as, like I said, we just got a lot of kids, and it's kind of hard to not be happy and enjoy the Christmas season. We had the kids' Christmas party a week and a half ago, whenever that was. And, I mean, that was just a blast. I mean, we bought all the boys Nerf guns, and they were freaking shooting everybody and just being boys. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I agree. What do you want me to say?
So what else?
Highlight wise?
Yeah, anything.
Well, we went to the Dominican Republic again this summer. That was fun. Um, did we go anywhere with the kids? I can't remember.
Well, they went to RoofCon with us in Orlando.
We went to Orlando in November. Took my mom, so she stayed with the kids and took them to the pool. So yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about RoofCon and why. What value do you see in taking the team to RoofCon with us?
I see the value in it's not all about roofing. Like, it's not like you go down there and you learn about shingles. You learn about the components of a roof. That's not why we go. Yes, they do have the showroom floor, as you would say, that has roofing related products, CRMs and all that, and the guys can check it out and get free loot. Like, that's great. But they bring in speakers that bring in value that will help the guys in just everyday life. It doesn't have to be work related, roofing related. A lot of it that they talk about is more on a personal level of how you can better yourself, how you can be a better spouse, be a better partner. So to me, it's just an overall, like, helps them take away something to better themselves personally. So that's kind of why I get on board of, let's take our team, because I know that if they're growing personally, then they're going to grow professionally. So
what was your biggest takeaway from RoofCon?
My biggest takeaway, well, we had already seen Gary Chapman, which I really enjoy him every time he talks, because even if you've kind of heard a roundabout of what he goes over, you can still take away something when he talks. So I really enjoyed him again.
Here, let me tell the audience, Gary Chapman wrote the 5 Love Language.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I can hit all these: personal touch, acts of service, gifts.
Did you say words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation.
Now you're drawing.
That's your love language.
Come on, Adam, you're in the background.
Did you do acts of service?
Acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts.
Quality time.
Quality time. So that everybody has a primary love language. Most of us generally have 2, and then pretty much our spouse is usually the opposite. And naturally, we want to love the way we feel loved. So one of yours is act of service. So if I would sweep every night, that would fill your love tank. I don't sweep every night, so that's a problem. But so you're right. And one thing that we've done is we've taken it a step more, and we've tried to study, like, we had a team read the book, pretty much the 5 love languages for the workplace. And, so then, like, if you take it to the next step, even your kids, your team, like, how do they want loved? Our kids are different, how they want loved. I joke and say every kid likes gifts. They're just kids, and but I'll even say Ellie on this. We had a conversation with Ellie, or me and Ellie were having a conversation, and she says that she struggles when she gets gifts because she wonders if she's going to respond the way that person expects them to. And that was kind of eye-opening to me, because I'm like, holy cow, like, here she's worried, she's worried about that. So, yeah, just so you know, kind of the 5 love languages. So what did you take away specifically from his talk?
Just, again, honing in on, like, hey, you really need to figure out your spouse's love language if you don't already know that, and try every day to fill their love tank with something that their love language is, to help that. So what did you take away from RoofCon?
I mean, one thing that I really enjoyed about RoofCon was right before the VIP party, we kind of had a team huddle, and just to hear the team, like, come back and say kind of like what they took away. And the one that sticks out a lot was Adam, and he does a lot of videos for us, but his biggest takeaway was part of his he needs to put more emphasis on his job of telling the story of our individual and team members, not just Bob and Emily Hoel and Hoel Roofing. And that was cool that he took that away, because William with RoofCon and everything was their videographer was there, did a breakout, and William's a freaking absolute rock star at what he does. So that was fun for me, and just to watch the team enjoy themselves, and see Nick and Ellie and the ones that's been there a few times, like now they're starting to recognize people, and friends that were within Revolt, they're starting to know some of their team, their videographers, that kind of stuff. So that's cool to we had that feeling the first year we went knowing people, but now taking a team when they have that, like it's part of a bigger community there. So another conversation to have is we took most of the team went through some training this year, and it was called The Journey to Nobody. And I had met Shane at a Revolt retreat pretty much a year ago to this day. It was in December of last year. And let's talk a little bit about that, because that's been I think it's been really good, but maybe it's also been a challenge.
It definitely was an experience for sure, not knowing what you were getting into before you went. And on the first couple of days, we're like, oh my gosh, like why did I come to this? But at the end of it, when we were all done and finished, like we were all glad that we stuck with it, that we didn't quit, that we didn't leave, and that what we got out of it. Just realizing that like most of the time you're in your head, and you're overthinking things, and you're not being your true self of who you need to be. So that was definitely an experience for sure. And also just kind of the group of, you went by yourself, but the group that you go with, you see what they overcome and what they go through when you're there. And so like you're bonding more with your team members, because you're kind of like, you want to kind of run the first day. So you at least got each other, and like what they went through during that training and what they overcome. So that builds that stronger bond there. So.
Well, and, you kind of alluded on it, and then you kind of skipped over it. So without giving it away, like the process, like you said, like we naturally are in our head. Mm-hmm. And you're a different person when you're, speaking from your heart. Mm-hmm. We all, I mean, every one of us in our head, we feel like, okay, what does Emily expect me to say? Like, or what does Adam expect me to say? And vice versa. And it's even harder for some of the team, because sometimes me being the boss, I had one guy tell me one time, he's like, every time you call me, my heart sinks when I see your name on. I'm like, I could just be calling to see how your weekend was, like, but when you're in your head and when you're in your heart, you're like totally two different people. And like, you got to be conscious of that, because, most of it when you're in your head is from childhood trauma. Mm-hmm. And like, we actually just had a call with Shane earlier today. And, last week when we were on the call with him, he was talking about some of my childhood trauma. And, he doesn't even know it, but he's like, he picked it right out. And then today, he said something about you that was like freaking head on. Like he was in the house you grew up freaking 30 years ago, so it's I don't know, like it's more transformational stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that, like, as business owners, like we really focus on, like really pouring into our team, and not just making it about how many roofs we can sell or how many Facebook posts we can make or whatever like that. Like, yes, business has to make sense. Yes, we have to make money. But to me, like some of that experience, I'm a little jealous that you got to experience with some of the guys, because I did experience that myself. And it's fun to be able to talk to everybody after you do that. But, kind of what do you think your biggest takeaway is from that, and what are you working on or working through with that?
I would have to say being authentic to myself, because I feel like I put my needs on the back burner to help everybody else, even if it's going to set me back in my day, or I'm not going to get what I need to get done. I want to help, and I want to be that helper, and just always, catch people when they fall, or just save the day kind of thing. So I would have to say, like, sticking to my guns of, no, I need to get X, Y, and Z done. Like, hey, if I have time, or hey, let's reconvene and I'll help you in 30 minutes. Like, I need to set more boundaries with that. So I'm working on that. I really struggle because I don't want to be, people to think I'm not, my door's not open and I won't just help them. But then again, like, that's not helping me out, because then I'm stressed out because I'm not getting what I need to get done.
So I want to try to go with speak out the 4 agreements that's kind of associated with that training. Hopefully you can help me out. So 1 is just be impeccable with your word, like actually do what the heck you say you're going to do. And these are all things that we're really striving for inside the business, just for everybody. So be impeccable with your word. Always do your best. And you know what? Some days, unfortunately in the last 12 months, we helped Ellie grieve losing her dad. And there's days her best wasn't much, like, not in a rude way. But she was just going through a lot, So, always do your best. And then, I'm going to completely draw a blank.
Assume.
Don't take anything personally, and no assumptions. No assumptions. So once again, like, it's just things that we're working on, and like, I kind of nerd out on stuff like this, but as we continue to grow the company, and it just helps relationships. Like, don't assume, like, have a conversation. But then it also challenges for, like, somebody like you, like. You weren't raised to communicate. You were raised to stuff your emotions, like, and it's easy for me to assume stuff because you won't talk. And I was raised the polar opposite. I almost had to over communicate. So, like, sometimes, like, but I can't assume that you're ignoring me or not talking because you're mad. Like, that's just who you are.
Like, I could sit in a room by myself and not talk, and I'd be perfectly content. Ride in a car and not talk. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. That drives him nuts, and he thinks there's something wrong. I was like, there's nothing wrong. I just don't want to talk right now. So out of them 4, like, kind of just talk through them for you. Like, what do they mean to you, and how do you plan on using that for 2024? I mean, I think I'm pretty good with my word of, like, I struggle with saying, yes, I'm going to do that, and I might not get it done as soon as I like, or I might have forgotten, like, oh, crap, I need to get that done. But I always try to, if I'm saying I'm going to do it, like, do it. And I try to make lists so I don't forget, because I got a lot going on in my head. And so if I make a list, then I can just check it off, and then I don't have everything floating around in my head. I see it. I know what I have to get done. Assumptions. Don't assume. Like, sometimes I just assume the guys know, like, certain things. I'm like, they should know this. And then I bring it to their attention, and they're like, oh, I had no idea. And I'm like, well, that makes sense of why you made that mistake then. So don't assume is a big one. Like, if you better ask, and you better make sure, and then you'll get your answer. And then what were the other 2? I forget, Adam. I can't read.
Don't take anything personally. And man, I'm gonna interject there.
I don't need glasses, but that print is really small in my defense, and it's got a weird background.
So don't take anything personally.
Yeah, I would say that I really don't think I I struggle with you the most. Anybody else can say anything they want. I'm like, whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. But when he says something to me, that's when I have my biggest problem. And I really just need to let it roll off my back. But it just depends on what day it is if I do that or not.
And I'm going to intervene there a little bit. Like, that whole don't take it personally. Like, if somebody's angry at you, it's really not it's not you, it's them. And another thing is, like, with this whole 4 agreements and stuff, like, you and me have been working through some stuff with Shane, and he's the guy that runs the training, the journey, the nobody. And we did an exercise, and we had to be, like, super petty about something that made us mad about each other. And, like, I filled mine out kind of in private, you filled yours out in private, and then at the end of it, it pretty much flipped it back at you. It was like, okay, if you're mad at somebody for lying to you, who are you lying to? If you're mad at somebody for not following through what they promised, like, how are you not following through? And at the end of the day, really, it all kind of boils down to, like, do what you say you're going to do, and, other people will they'll start doing it, or they'll distance themselves from you. And we've noticed that this year, because we've implemented that in the business. And then the last one, always do your best. I'll let you chime in on that one.
That right there is always do your best. Like, don't half-ass it, don't mail it in. And if you can't do your best at something, don't overcommit yourself and don't do that. That's why sometimes I struggle, because I don't want to do all the things and half-ass them. Like, I want to do X, Y, and Z and do them well. I don't like having a lot of stuff going on and not executing it well, because that really bothers me. So just do your best, and we try to instill that in our kids now, so that they're when they're adults, they're doing that.
So as we kind of conclude here, if you've watched any of these, if this is your first one, thank you. If you watched any of the other ones, thank you. It was just a vision and a dream that I had, and thankful for a good buddy, Ty Backer. He kind of walked me through what the equipment, the grab and everything, and thankful for Adam for understanding all the crap behind the scenes that we would be SOL if I had to set up, And there's times that it's been like, Adam, get it set up. We're doing this in 10 minutes, So thank you for that. But, to our customers, to our following, like, thank you for your support and your trust in us. Merry Christmas. And our year wouldn't have been what it was without our amazing team and our amazing customers. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart for that.
Yes, thank you. I'm wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and can't wait to see what 2024 has in store.
Thank you.